can't believe we're talking about the Bengals in this light. Like, I can't believe I'm talking. Like, I look at this matchup and I'm like, gross. Like, this is the. I'm thinking of the Bengals when it was Carson Palmer, Chad Ochocinco level bad. I mean, those guys were good, but like that
They
team
were like a
was.
playoff team. What are you talking about?
They were a playoff team, but like, I mean, you know what like when AJ Green and Andy Dalton were there. Okay,
They were also a playoff team. What are you going
dude,
on about?
not no, they weren't winning divisions out here. They weren't going to
No, they're a
Super
playoff
Bowls.
team.
They weren't going to Super Bowls like the Bengals did at one time, like not too long ago, 2 years ago, man. So,
Make me
all right,
cut
I
this.
digress. I digress. This is a terrible matchup. Joe Burrow does not look like himself. We kicked it to death on the episode previously this week. Ah, man. Yeah, dude, I think I'm going the Cardinals on the spread and the money line. I think that Joshua Dobbs has looked a lot better than people want to admit, even though his jersey wasn't on sale in the team store for Arizona, which is classic Arizona. Why would you expect anything less? I'm gonna go the Cardinals on the spread and the money line in this one. I think that Josh Dobbs can make some things happen, and nonetheless, you got James Conner, who's playing like one of the better running backs in the league right now. So gotta love that. But yeah, dude, I just can't take the Bengals until I see some sort of sign of life. I mean, this is a Cardinals team that beat Dallas. So,
I think this is it. I think this is the week. I think it almost has to be the week.
oh, okay.
Um, I didn't think it was going to be last week. I think Tennessee's defense is too good. That running game for them poses a lot of problems for Cincinnati. But I think this is the week. I think Gannon's going to be able to draw up some stuff that can make Joe Burrow's life difficult. However, I just think that personnel-wise, they are so outmatched. I know T. Higgins said he's going to try and tough this out this week. I'm a little worried about his effectiveness, but I do see a big Jamar Chase game potentially. We did see him in the post
Has
game
to
from
be.
last week saying, I'm always effing open. I think that they scheme him up some looks this week because you got to. Like, you've got to get the hands into him because Joe Burrow, like, we've talked about this with so many guys. Joe Burrow needs to play point guard this week. Like, and that's not something we've had to say about him in the past because he can do those. Like, he's not like, Anthony Richardson or anything, but he can create his own plays. He can create his own throwing windows. He can extend plays. He can't do that right now. So just play point guard. Play Brock Purdy. Get the ball to Jamar Chase. Get the ball to half of T. Higgins and Joe Mixon and those guys, and like just play point guard this week. If they can do that, I think they have. I think the Bengals have a chance against the Cardinals this week. Um, on the other side, though, I think the Cardinals could keep this close for sure. Um, I Cardinals have kept it close pretty much all across the board. I know last week wasn't close, but 49ers seem like a wrecking machine at this moment, so it's a little hard to hold the Cardinals up to that standard.
I think 20 teams would have walked in and done the same thing the
Yeah.
Cardinals did.
Oh, yeah. Um, so this has to be it, right? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know if this is sound analysis, but this has to be the week. Because if it's not, you got to really start consider shutting down Joe Burrow because this season, like 1-4 in this AFC,
No, you
in
don't
this
consider
division.
it. You're considering it this week. If you go out and get trounced by the Cardinals this week, yeah, it's not a consideration. You have
And
to shut down Joe.
with that, we talked about it when we were talking about the Panthers. If you shut down Joe Burrow, unless you're saying we're going to sign him right now, you need to start making calls about T. Higgins because, and like I'm saying, unless you sign him to a contract before the trade deadline, you need to start making calls because he's a free agent. This isn't a player option situation. He's a free agent. He's can go wherever he wants when this season is over. And after a season where the offense doesn't look great because Joe Burrow's not here, and I don't even think I can't imagine T. Higgins wants to be there. T. Higgins is playing in this team in a contract year where it's either a hampled Joe Burrow that can't throw the ball down the field, or it's Jake Browning as their backup. He's not going to produce at all, which hurts his money. I mean, if they shut down Joe Burrow, he might just go to the front office and be like, "Look, I'm not signing an extension here, so let's make something happen." Because I guarantee you, once the end of the season comes and T. Higgins is ready to be talking about contracts, they're going to bring up, hey, what happened this year? Why weren't you producing this year? Um, and
He's
T.
gonna
Higgins
point the finger
are
right
gonna
at
be
Zach
like,
Taylor.
yeah. So I think, God sakes, I can't believe I'm saying this in week 5, but Cincinnati may be in jeopardy of blowing this team up if they lose to the Cardinals in week 5.
Yeah, I mean, I saw. I don't know who it was from, but it was from Bengals camp, and this is a must-win game. This is like a playoff game for the Cincinnati Bengals this week. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, if it doesn't happen this week, it's over, man. I mean, you're too far out of a division that's pretty competitive, and it's pretty much over, dude. So why not shut down the guy you literally just spent the most money ever on? So don't do that. Shut him down. He's too expensive, man. So for that reason, I think they will shut it down because I think the Cardinals win this week. So